Let's work on converting temperature. There are three main scales that are used for reporting units of temperature. The first is Fahrenheit, which is the kind that you're probably used to, where in the United States we have an average room temperature of 68 degrees, and your average body temperature is 98.2 degrees, and that's all in Fahrenheit. Whereas Celsius is probably what you remember if you remember random facts from elementary school science or junior high or whatever, where you're told water boils at 100 degrees and it freezes at 0 degrees. That's in Celsius. And then Kelvin is kind of assumed to be one of the two main science units, where Celsius and Kelvin are both commonly reported, but Kelvin is actually the SI unit. So let's practice converting. So let's say you're told that 100 degrees is the boiling point of water. So what is that in Fahrenheit and what is that in Kelvin? Well, first off, if we want to report it to Kelvin, we have this equation here at the top for us to look at, where we simply take the 100 and insert it into this degree Celsius symbol. So it becomes 100 plus 273 gives us a Kelvin temperature of 373.15. Then we do the same thing, where we insert our Celsius into this equation in order to report what our Fahrenheit is. So it becomes 9/5 times 100 plus 32. Now you do need to enter 9 times 100 divided by 5, enter. Then add 32, or else it won't turn out properly. So you should have 180 plus 32 in order to give you a total of 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Now you'll notice that it's always degrees Fahrenheit and degrees Celsius. It's never degrees Kelvin. And in addition to that, you can't go directly from Kelvin to Fahrenheit. You have to stop in the middle at Celsius. Let's go the opposite direction. If we're told 75 degrees Fahrenheit, we need to first get this into Celsius. So you place the 75 degrees Celsius into this symbol, and then you first subtract 32. That's what these parentheses mean. So you first subtract the 32. That gives you 43. Then you take the 43 times 5 divided by 9, and that gives you a total of 23.9 degrees Celsius. Now typically when I go to the next step of Kelvin, instead of entering in my rounded off number, I will just keep the number in the calculator, and I'll put this number in for the degree Celsius and add 273.15 to it. And so that gives me a total of 297.0 Kelvin. So what if we start with Kelvin? Kelvin, let's say it's 25 degrees Celsius. Now we take that 25, it's the same thing, you just got to put it in the right equation. So 25 going here gives you 25 minus 273. Don't be afraid of negative numbers, there's nothing wrong with them. So in this case, Celsius is negative 248.15 degrees Celsius. It's okay to be a negative number. Sometimes we're all a little negative at times. And then from degrees Celsius, you can put this number in for this symbol and solve for Fahrenheit. So in this case, remember, once again, you take that number and you multiply by 9, divide it by 5, get a number, and then add 32 to that number to give us our final number of negative 423.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video, actually pause it, stop it, answer all these questions, pretend like you're filling in this graph. If you can do this successfully, then you've got this. So fill in the graph, then check your work. If you get all of these numbers, you're good to go. So then, go complete any Mastering Chemistry Chapter 1 problems that you have remaining. You are now finished with all the video lectures from Chapter 1.